Cloud. Okay, so we are recording, yeah?
Nice.
Yep. I didn't know you could do that on Zoom.
Ta-da!
Yeah.
Magic of the
Yeah,
internet.
that's actually pretty good.
It's all the benefits of a paid account.
Oh,
my money. Where'd it go?
I don't know where my money went, but everyone can see me now. Look at me, Mum. Look at me.
It's like, oh, do you hear this? Do you hear this? Yeah, it's the sound of debt. Yay!
oh no. It's too real. It's too real. That joke is too real.
It's the sound of my crippling depression.
Okay. Yeah, now we're on live, people. We're on live on Facebook.
Even fancier. I like it. Hello.
Okay, I don't know how to that's all right then. Okay, so Tom is coming. We have George left, and we still have to wait for George. Hello, Tom.
Hi.
Hello, Tom. This is everyone, and everyone, this is Tom.
Hello.
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 Fun to
Hello,
see.
Tom.
Oh, there we go. Hello.
Hello. Why you change your hair?
I got bored.
Hello.
Damn.
Okay,
That's cool, right?
I would not recognize you.
this is very nice. Okay, you guys, thank you very much for being here. I think I'm going to start it now, if you guys are okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go for it.
go for it.
Yes.
Okay, hold on, let me push my PowerPoint up. So if George want to come and join, I think you can. So you guys all see my PowerPoint, yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Shall we all mute our mics as well?
Yes, please.
Oh.
There will be the section that I will tell you guys to unmute, and then we can discuss the further topics. Yeah. So welcome you all. We are live on Zoom and also Facebook Live. And welcome to the New Situation, New Questions. The show must go on. The topic of the self-expression and self-exploitation during the crisis time. This one will be a part of my Creative Research Project, and wish me luck. So my name is Meidi. My first name and last name is Asamanstri. So I'm here with my fellow Zoom meeting. So I'm with Kristina, Alexandra, Tom, Nicole, Stephen, and Jack. Did I miss someone? I don't think so. Okay, so I will let you guys introduce yourself, your name and what you do, starting from Jack. Hello, Jack. Your audio.
Yep. Hi guys, so I'm Jack. I run a small company called Easy Gigs. I take a master's degree in Creative Enterprise, and I'm now the creative director for TEDxLeicester.
Okay, now here you go, Stephen.
Hi guys, my name is Stephen. I'm learning Creative Enterprise, master's degree, same like Jack.
Okay, here you go, Nicole.
Hi, I'm Nikhil. I am a freelance filmmaker who spent the last 3 years trying to build up a small business and now leaving it to pursue my own career.
Okay, back to Tom. Hello, Tom.
Hello. I am Tom. I am the venue manager of the Shed in Leicester. I'm also a semi-pro drummer in a few bands, create podcasts, and I'm also a band consultant as well.
Okay, thank you, Tom. Alex, here you go.
Hi, so I'm Alex, and I'm currently trying to graduate from the Montfort University in music technology. I'm just starting to start my own business very soon. I'm just waiting for some paperwork to come over to help students from abroad to study in UK.
Okay, now the last but not least, Kristina.
Yes, hello guys. I'm studying an art foundation at the moment, and I am a singer-songwriter. And yeah, I'm Kristina. Did I say my name? I don't know.
Yeah,
I can't
you.
remember. But yes, and from yesterday, I have released some songs on YouTube as well. So I'm a YouTuber as well, I guess. But yes, thank you, Mehdi.
Thank you very much, Kristina, and everyone who spared your time and coming here. So in this, we have a little rules. So this webinar will be audio recorded and video recorded for the education purpose. This webinar will be proceeding in English language because we are live on Facebook and because my country origin is Thailand. So people in Thailand will be watching this one too. So hello, Thailand. And if you have any question, because I'm live on Facebook as well, so please send it through the comment box on Facebook Live, and we will choose the question to answer later if we have time at the end of the webinar. How this webinar work? So, because of what I do, the Creative Research Project, this one, I will explain the first section. I will explain the original idea, the process, the analysis, and the findings. The second one is the question of discussions. So because I'm doing this presentation and the discussion question will pop up along as you go. So I will let you guys know like when to unmute or when to mute the microphone, the audio, and then so we have the discussion period. And at the end, if you have time, so it's going to be Q&A or the further discussion if we haven't got any question in. So from research to the webinar, I separated a section of my research to 4 stages. The first one is the phenomena and the original idea. As some of you guys know, because I also interviewed some of you guys as well. So I started to interview on the topic Precarious Music Industry. And all of the interview will be conducted and all in notes and being coded in Excel. The second stage, because of the coronavirus pandemic, I also one of the people that affected by the coronavirus pandemic. So I separated the section of the interview into 2 sections. So it's going to be interview pre-coronavirus pandemic and post-corona pandemic. And every interview is transcribed and to do for analysis. The third stage is the empirical conclusions and the theoretical concepts. So because all of the interviews, every time that I'm doing the transcripting, it's just all new ideas coming up, pops up every time. But just one thing that always pops up in every interviews is the self-expression. So we love what we do, we enjoy, we happy with what we're doing. And now here we are, the final stage of the research. So the webinar that I'm hosting today. And thank you all for coming and listening to me and watching this webinar through Facebook Live too. So what is Precarious Music Industry? Precarious music industry, you can say music industry is stable, if in short, in easy meaning. But because of the word precarious, you can find it in the academic papers only, or maybe like in very high level of language kind of such. So I asked all of my interviewees, what is the word precarious means, do you think? So here it is. Uncertain, hard, challenging, unstable, insecure, vary, makes me anxious, makes me vulnerable. So all of these words are the concept of the precarious and the factor that curate the people appreciations, changes of the music industry, job security, work-life balance. Because of the industry keep changing all the time, keep evolving, people keep enhancing knowledge more. So which means that people full of skills, it's very competitive because it's gig economy. So we have to do the work contract by contract. And obviously it's also affecting work-life balance because you have to do the gigs after your working hours. So when you're working, people are resting, so it's unsociable hours. That's why these are the example of the factor that affecting curating the precarious music industry. So all you guys ready? Get ready for the discussion questions, yeah? Oh, Jack, okay. Here you go. Pass to you.
Just to let you know that George is currently sitting in the waiting room for you to let him in.
Okay, wait a second. Thank you so much. Yeah, hello, George. Is he here? Connecting to the audio.
Yeah, you just have to give him a second until he connects.
Yeah. So exciting. Thank you so much. Yeah. Hello, George.
Hello.
Yeah, hello, George.
Hold on a second.
That's all right.
My.
Audio.
Yeah, you just have to give him a second until he connects.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Okay, George, can you please introduce yourself and what you do?
Hello, I'm George, and my camera isn't working.
It's all right.
Here we go. Oh, my hair's crazy after lockdown. I'm a session musician. I've been performing live music for about 10 years now, and I've almost finished my degree in pharmaceutical and cosmetic sciences at the Leicester School of Pharmacy at Montfort University.
Hello. So we are with Stephen. We are with Alexandra, Jakk, Kristina, Nicole, and Tom. So everyone, this is George.
Hey.
Okay. So we at the discussion questions that we're gonna ask you guys to discuss whatever you experience this or not, or like your opinions and such. So here we go. What do you think about you and your business right now? Is it better now than the time past? Because yes, we do enjoy playing music on social media to connect with fans again. And also businesses seem to be fine because with the schemes, with the government and such. The findings shows that the businesses and individuals are fully affected by the pandemic. For example, like sales drops, cancellations, loss of human contact, because like when you guys performing live, you guys need that people appreciation right then, right now to just make the live music work. Is it better now when anything? So anyone wants to go first?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Yeah, so we at the shed, we're currently completely shut. And when that first happened, we panicked and we were very scared. We didn't know if we were going to be able to continue as a business after this is all finished. Obviously, with music venues as well, the uncertainty around it, we have no idea when we're going to be reopening. It's sounding like it's hopefully going to be the end of September or October, but that could all completely change. There's a lot of music venues at the minute who are in an absolutely awful situation. We've been quite fortunate where we've had Frank Turner do a live stream for the shed, which raised money for us and to help us come out of the lockdown kind of okay and hoping we can afford it. And we actually managed to raise £11,000 just from him doing that, which was absolutely incredible. So we're now in a better position financially. Like that's just enough money to get us started up again as soon as we can open. But unfortunately for a lot of other music venues in the country and even over the world, it's just going to be really hard to be feasible for when it comes back, because there's still rent to pay, and there have been some landlords, and there's been some laws come in place that's helped to kind of stop them from completely closing businesses down. But end of the day, they're still going to be racking up big bills on electricity and rent and stuff like that, and it's just going to make it very difficult for a lot of music venues and I'm sure most businesses to start back up again. So we're currently in the process of trying to kind of do some fundraisers together. Like all the music venues around the UK have kind of banded together for like a big kind of crowdfunder, so that will hopefully have a big pot there for the music venues that need it. So yeah, it's going to be quite difficult, and at the minute I'm planning and forecasting our cash flow for the next year or two for as soon as we start opening again, and the plans and everything we're having to do to make sure we can stay open after this is finished. There's so many changes that we have to make in how our business is operating, and what we're spending money on, how we're getting money coming in. We've been told that even if we do open back up, like, we're going to have to go cashless. We do take a lot of money via cash. So there's loads of factors that will just make an absolute difference to what we're doing.
Thank you so much, Tom. Because you said that, like, you re-strategy and also think about the cash flow, the forecasting, what's going to happen next. From the start until now, is it better for you now because of the government scheme that helping you, or like the people supporting the Shed? Is it better?
Yeah, I'd say a lot of things are better now, yes, because of the government schemes coming into place with furlough. That was the main thing we were worried about, was covering the staff wages while everyone was off. We had no idea, because there are a few people like myself that are on salary, some people are on hourly, and that we were just really worried. So that the furlough thing made a massive difference to us, to the point where before, when everything was going on, when we wanted to close, and we were trying to practice social distancing as much as we could, but there was no way that we could have until we were told we had to shut. So we were hoping the wages would be covered. There was no way that we could have done that. And also, like I said, I think awareness around the situation. I think when this all first started, kind of like, yeah, it's fine, it's going to be a few weeks, we're shut down, and then we're going to come out of it and be fine. And I think now it's been confirmed by the government how long it's potentially going to be, and it's not been confirmed exactly, but we know it's going to be for a while. I think there's a lot more awareness going around. A lot more people are kind of saying, actually, a lot of the businesses and a lot of the places you like going to could be in serious trouble if we don't try and help.
Okay, thank you very much, Tom. How about work opportunities? For example, Nicole, if you want to have a go.
Yeah, so now going freelance, it's strange. Work has basically just stopped. It's gone to a halt, and it's making filmmakers like myself realize how we now approach people that want to be filmed. So, for example, Tom mentioned live streaming. Live streaming is a great way, but it's also making me rethink, what we were currently doing. So, for example, microphones is we used to have lapel microphones, and we used to go up and tie it on, make sure everyone's all sorted and ready. But now with COVID situation happening, you got to keep that 2 meter distance. You got to think, right, and people will kind of keep that in their minds even when this is over. You're thinking, it might be too close. What's going on? What's happening? So I've had to invest in another kit, for example. So it's basically money. I'm having to put money into something, but not getting any money out. So work-wise, it's quite interesting, and a lot of people are being put off by the current situation and by what's happening.
Okay, thank you very much, Nicole. Okay, Alexandra, you go.
Yes, regarding to all the things that we said about the music industry and the work situation right now, I think we need to remember also about the street artists. Like, for example, myself, I was traveling UK with my guitar, and I think not only the money-wise, but a lot of like the connection with the public was just different, and that's something that people missing. but also because like we are not allowed right now to interact with people. The streets are empty and the streets are quiet. So I think that brings a lot. So I know a lot of my friends are living their life from being a street artist, and right now they can't do it, so they can't pay their bills and everything. So that's also is like COVID situation is affecting this. And also, as we've heard, we do need to think about like how we can go further right now. And like, okay, if I'm a street artist and if I want to make a live with my music, go out to people still while sitting at home, if someone's been prepared just to perform on the street, there's a chance that that person don't have a software or any equipment to go live and promote themselves. So in this situation, like as we've had, there is that I need to invest without knowing if I will get anything back from it. And so that's the risk, in my opinion, for musicians, artists, and performers right now is really, really high. This is a very high risk for us right now.
Yeah. So because George also the musician, so what's your view on this one? Hello, George.
Yeah, I hadn't really considered that there could be people much worse off than musicians at this time of need. But then Tom started talking about music venue owners, and I was like, yeah. Yeah, everything's cancelled basically, unless you're in recording. I've had, to be fair, a few recording people have come in and said we can do some, you know, everybody's been in lockdown for so long, we can do a few sessions and that. But I think unless you're an online content creator, there's just nothing there in it. I think there's a few charities about where you can register for kind of something that resembles the old dues scheme from unions back in the day, or, you know, of course there's universal credit as well, which isn't available for students. So I'm now in a position where all my gigs have been cancelled for the summer, so that's my summer job effectively gone. And because I'm still classed as a student, I can't then start any kind of claiming for any income until my course is finished. And I'm one of many students whose maintenance grant doesn't cover their rent. So it's, yeah, it's one of those things. I think there's a lot of people like doctors and nurses who, even though they're still at work, they're a lot worse off in a situation like this than us. But yeah, it's what I think is one of the most precarious jobs to begin with, let alone with a global pandemic.
Yeah, thank you very much, everyone. So everything now, it's like, because we have the situation that's caused the uncertainty and make us feel very insecure. So that's, yes, that is the precarious music industry. So that also leads to the next question for discussion. So to what extent are you worried about the sustainability of your business model after the pandemic? What could be done to sustain your business model or work opportunities? Because according to one of my interviewees that I conducted, he said trends are what drives music industry because of people make trends. So running a business in the music industry by going blind without knowing the trends, because people are staying inside the house to stay safe, could be challenging in a way. What else could be done to sustain the business? Right. Anyone want to go? Jack?
Yeah, I'll chime in. First off, it's devastating to hear like how hard this has hit everybody. We're working sort of in Easy Gigs to kind of, as lockdowns ease, we kind of go, what's all the gray area in all this? How can we bring all these businesses together and bring customers to them? Because this was going on. With the sustainability of this business model, it's a weird time for us, because it's the masters. My master's is studied. We've gone looking into marketing, and we were looking into global sustainable trends going in. So one of the big ones we picked was sort of proudly local going global and multifunctional homes, which before the coronavirus was like, well, why would anyone want to sit at home and kind of film themselves and, you know, like, and put it out, like, you know, you can go play gigs, what's the point? And now it's like, oh, you have to. So it's gone from being like, it's a trending thing to it's the thing. So we've sort of turned around and gone, okay, well, the big needs of the market are people don't know how to do it. People might not have the confidence to do it, and people might have okay-ish equipment to do it, or really good equipment to do it. So we need to get these people that have just been massively displaced. It's a hugely stressful situation. You're now stuck indoors, which for some of us, I hate being stuck indoors. I know it's awful. You need to then get these people to go, okay, everything is gonna be fine. Believe us, trust the process. We're gonna get you online. We're gonna get you building an audience. We're gonna get you, you know, making some streams, making some sales. You're gonna be getting some income in within the next couple of weeks from your own work, from your immediate circle, and then from those further beyond. That's the kind of, at the minute, our sustainable option is helping everyone to kind of stay afloat. And then as the lockdown continues to reduce, it's then working with local businesses and working online to keep everything connected and keep everyone sort of, all right, well, you know, it's not perfect. We're not, you know, high flying anymore, but we are above water and we're not drowning. So that's what we're trying to do at the minute.
Thank you so much, Jakk. What else could be done, do you guys think? What else could be done to sustain the business model, to increase the work opportunities after the crisis?
Hello.
Hello.
I'm on. Yeah, I think a lot of it is like what Jakk was saying. And I think a lot of, especially independent businesses in their local areas. So for example, our city of Leicester, a lot of people are coming together and working together. I'm sure once this lockdown's finished, everyone's going to be trying to kind of, or I hope at least, everyone's going to be trying to come in and help advertise each other and help market each other as much as we can. It is about that sense of community, and it's a sense of everyone coming together, especially the smaller businesses that are really going to be struggling at this point, and just talk and say, okay, how are we going to help each other? Like I was saying earlier with this crowdfunder, there's a really good network called the Music Venues Trust, which has over 500 UK music venues as a part of it. We're all coming together and we're working together and just trying to figure out the best ways we can help each other. And it's not so much in a kind of monetary way, because like none of us can afford that, but just in more of a kind of support way. And if there's any ideas that anyone's got that's saying this is going to help benefit my business, this could also help benefit yours. It's about now not being selfish, but being selfless and helping as many people as you possibly can. Obviously, there is still a sense of competition within every market, but the main thing at the minute is for everyone just to come together and help each other. And I really do believe that is what's going to help save a lot of industries and a lot of people.
Okay, thank you very much, Tom. Okay, so to conclude all the points that we were talking now of the precarity of the music industry, and also for the coronavirus pandemic, it leads us to like how to solve this. It's not going to be completely helpful in some of the way, but what I did from my research, and it comes out like, okay, for the precarious music industry, if we get paid properly, if we get the support from the government too, and then when the crisis coming in, apply for the funds, for the schemes of the government, integrating fully into the creative economy, just like what Tom said, with the networks, with the community, what helps you a lot with this one, and see the value of the creativity, the value of the music, because people stay inside. Music is the one thing that we all know and also express ourselves, and that leads to enjoying yourself. And this findings amuse me the most, because every single interview that I have conducted, they are saying to enjoy yourself, be yourself, just play some music, jam in around. So I did more research about self-expression. So Mac Robbie mentioned in 2002 that self-expression became a main theme of working in the culture industry. This one is very interesting one because I was also the musician too, and when I get on the stage, I am so into my music to express that feeling within 3 to 5 minutes. Of course, it's gonna be maybe something trouble me, or I can think about the feeling of that song and express my feelings through the song. The freedom of self-expression is taking place in the culture sector, and people genuinely enjoy this part. So this one also proved already in 2009, 2014, that self-expression is the main thing also that people keep playing music. During the crisis time, we expressing also because we face the same thing. We are now during the crisis, the pandemic that we affected all over the world. And yeah, this is my, the main point that I really want to share with you guys. So here comes another discussion question. How do people in the music industry express themselves during the crisis? Is this self-expressing a positive thing or a negative thing, do you guys think? Okay, Josh, you go.
Yeah, I think musicians have always expressed any crisis that they're in throughout history. I think if you look at a lot of musical historians, particularly post-war classical music, tends to be quite disturbing. In the 1930s, your surrealism movement, there was an area in the kind of 1600s where a lot of classical music came in. It was very angry, had German operas being wrote because there was kind of a dark period around Central Europe, maybe something to do with the plague. I don't know, I'm not a musical historian, but I think times like these will be expressed by everyone. The world, what makes music such a good subject to study, for some reasons, not for some reasons, sorry, makes it good subject to study is that it draws in all of the economic and political and social changes and challenges that go on around it, and it seeps into kind of the music that's being produced at that time. So I think we are going to see a noticeable change from possibly a year, 2 years down the line, as the music being written now and produced will kind of take into effect the impact it's had on everyone.
Thank you very much, George. How about you, Kristina? Because you recently posted music online.
Yes, yes. Oh, I'm so glad you asked me to speak because I actually really love this whole topic. And it was like, oh, sorry, I forgot your name, George, the person who was speaking before.
George.
Yes, George. I feel like very recently, throughout the last 5 years, nothing really has fully shook the world as much as this pandemic. And and the things in the olden days, the world wars, it really shook the world, and it affected the music so much. And I totally agree. I feel like the music will change because I feel like the music, the popular music, has been, oh, this is just my opinion, but it's been meh recently, and it's not been really I haven't really felt connected with it. But being a songwriter, especially in this pandemic, I found a lot of inspiration from it. And yes, did I answer the question?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. No worries. Like what you're saying, because you find the inspiration, lots of inspirations to express yourself through music during crisis time. And also you just posted the music and I listened to it. It's so beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much, Winnie. Thank you so much. And also I wanted to say, I just cannot even imagine being a full-on business right now, because
I hear your stories, like the people that are running businesses, and I'm just like, oh no, that just sounds so bad to be in that position right now. So guys, I just wish you the like most luck on going forward, and you can do this.
Okay. Thank you very much, Kristina. Hi, Alex, you go.
Yeah, so talking about shaking up the music, I have to agree with Kristina. Like, that was such a good thing. I, for a month, felt like I've just heard this everywhere. Whenever I would go, someone would say that, oh, that will just blows your mind. It's something fresh and new. And I was just like, okay, but I've heard this. I've heard the same rhythm. I heard the same tonations and everything. And I can see by myself as well that I've started to look for the new harmonies. I've started to look for the new ways of expressing myself, because if you are locked down with yourself, and artists and musicians, like, we are very sensitive. We are looking our way to understand words, to understand what is going on around us and how to actually face it, because not everyone is an extrovert or introvert. Like, we are different. And some introverts are living their best life, and some extroverts, I just wanted to literally blow the doors out and scream to let me out. So I think the artists are just looking to calm themselves with an art, with the things that always was helping them out through the tough times. And also the public is throwing forwards to us more and more, because with all the negativity we've here, the music will always be there, the art will be there, the poetry will be there, and that will hold us together. And I read last time the very good book of the Admiral McRaven, I guess, and there was like, be the person who sings when you are in mud till your neck. And it actually just shows like the power of creativity, and us as an artist can keep us strong and go through everything, no matter what bad the situation is. It's just gonna change. And I think that the pandemic gonna have a huge impact on music, also because we just will try to make people laugh. So there's gonna be a lot of crazy positive songs, but there's gonna be such a different types of music created right now that I just can't wait for it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you very much, Alex.
Oh, can I just say something?
Yeah, of course.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I loved hearing your opinions there. Like, oh my days, I agree with you so much. I've definitely found myself like looking for like new crazy chords and new rhythms, like exactly what you were saying. And it reminded me when like in the World War, they would literally send out singers like to the soldiers to sing for them. And like, I feel like music back then was such, and like art and like poetry, it was just so precious in like times like that. And maybe in this pandemic, people will like, this was like the thing that I really like, I said to you, Midi, in the interview, like, I really wish people appreciated art and appreciated music more. And I feel like in this time, people might start to appreciate like businesses, music, the things that they're away from. Well, yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna just go add the one thing on top of it, that I think the whole community and whole humanity will change because of it, because we get used to being so comfy with ourselves and everything that we have, and we forget like there was a worse years ago. People were not allowed to go out anywhere. Like our lockdown, comparing to like, I'm not saying it's not bad. It is bad. I've been struggling because of the lockdown. My business been struggling because of it. We all are affected. But on the other hand, we are very pleased that we are even able to walk out from the home, go to the stores. We are blessed with having, like, we right now sitting, all of us sitting and being able to see each other by the screen of a computer, when there were a time when you couldn't. There was no communication, there was no chance to do it. And I think that maybe wakes up our community, in general to just like rethink if it's actually the every single thing, the every single planning that we own, that we have. Do I need to have that newest thing? Do I have to have it? Like, or maybe it's just good to just sit down, smile to someone, and start singing.
Yeah, that's a very beautiful way to put it. How many of you guys in here in this room think that self-expression, even though it's not during the pandemic or during the pandemic, is positive thing to do right now?
Hi. I think it's super important. Like, so as I said, I play in bands as well, and with particularly one of the bands we play in, we've managed to use this time like in a really super positive way, and been able to use a lot of self-expression to be able to do that. It's been really fun. Like, as much as the shed part of it for me and the live music, running the live music business for me has been difficult, the other side I've got is the band stuff, which I've been able to like spend and focus so much more time on recently. So we figured out a way how to record music and write music while we're in isolation, and we're all separated from each other. And there's 5 of us. Fortunately, I live with one of the members, 2 of the other members live together, and then you've got one of the other members somewhere else. And we've all managed to come together and write music together, which has been incredibly like awesome. And we've been more productive than what we've actually had time to be before. We've also been able to work on our social media, and we've been like live streaming loads, and we've been getting more of a following because people have been a bit bored. And then we've been going on our Instagram and going live on there and chatting to people and just, you know, having a beer with them, not so much heavily promoting ourselves, but just chilling out with people. And then that's kind of converting people to then listen to our music, which has been really cool. And yeah, it's just been loads of fun hanging out with new people, which, you know, we normally wouldn't have the time to be able to do. And writing what I think are some of our best tracks we've ever written, just because we've got a bit more time, we've got a bit more inspiration. There's like plenty of things topically to be writing lyrics about and to be writing music about. So as much as there are a lot of negatives to it, we're trying to kind of, and it's good for everyone to try and take as many positives as you can, and even try and focus on self-expression and certain things that you wouldn't normally have time to focus on, and actually do the things that you want to do and have a bit of fun with it. Because especially for the people like me and a lot of people, especially musicians, that don't have any work, and it's like, well, why not start that project I was thinking of doing 6 months ago that then started as a thing, and I got lost and I couldn't do it anymore, and why not just write this new song that I've had going in my head, you know? So I think there's a lot of positives in terms of self-expression you can take from this pandemic.
Okay, wow, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, thank you so much, Tom. And that's what I'm trying to say in this presentation, like, because during this seriously pandemic time, we still need positivity to just keep us going. So for the further discussions about the self-expression, just like Tom said, that you do something that sometimes you haven't done it before. Self-exploitation during the crisis times. How much are you all aware of using self-expression to exploit yourself during the crisis?
It depends what you mean by exploit, like where you take that word, because exploit the word exploit itself can be a positive and a negative thing.
Yeah, the exploit means, in this research, means by using your resources and your skills and doing something that express yourself. Yeah, more.
So I think the one common thing we all share is that although we are different parts of the music industry, we are all creatives at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And as creatives, we would probably use everything that we've got, because, you know, it's the feeling that drives us, the passion that drives us. It's that little voice inside your head that says keep going. That's what's pushing us. I think that's what you've got to express, really. Like, you know, you just throw your heart and soul at it, and then that's pretty much everything.
Yeah. Okay, here you go, Stephen, coming in now. Jack, right? Oh, George, okay.
I think
Okay.
a lot of creatives and music people and artists were kind of in this position even before Corona. I think musicians tend to throw themselves at everything and kind of really stretch how far you can really spread your own kind of human resources. So I think whilst the circumstances in which everything has changed, I think the attitude towards what you do and who you are as an artist, I don't think that has changed. So I think it's roughly kind of the same. Musicians have kind of tend to face exploitation kind of in a negative way from just the general industry not having much security about it, for starters as well. So I think, you know, that level of risk has always been there, and there's kind of, I'd hope there's kind of an immunity or a thick skin or kind of, you know, yeah, something like that. So I don't think it's changed a great deal, just kind of the medium in which you work has changed a lot recently.
Thank you so much, George. Jakk, do you have anything to add about the self-exploitation during the crisis time?
Yeah, so yeah, great what George just said. I think like musicians, like in like independent musicians and sort of those that work independently of like record labels, people who aren't necessarily, and I'm going to talk some gray area when I say this, George, so I'm sorry if I step on some toes, but like some session musicians as well. You create your own music, you express your own music, and it's usually as a reflection of your own identity. So you sit down to say, I want to create music. What you're saying is that I would like to express myself using the skills that I have available. That's your kind of self-exploitation process. You then sit down, you then either get your guitar out, your digital audio workstations, you then produce something, and then you have exploited your own creative abilities for your, either for your personal gain, for your financial gain, or spiritual gain, if you want to go down that route. I think that we've always had to really do that as an industry. That's how you get brand new songs that have come through. That working with people now, I think, is going to be the bigger thing, because it's, I've seen too many, even before the COVID-19, I've seen too many musicians of like top tier skill that won't be achieving what you consider to be career success, or what they consider to be career success, because they would focus too heavily on their instrument and focus so heavily on their like self-exploitation process that they neglect to bring it out to enough people to receive the reward of payment or building an audience, or just, you know, making some friends and, you know, just a good group of fans. So I think coronavirus kind of makes you sit down and go, well, you know, now I can't just, you know, just show up to an open mic night on a Tuesday and get my fill for the week. It's like, right, I've actually got to, you know, get involved online and join like communities like, I think there's a Musicians Monday Club that they host in Leicester, and there's ones that happen daily. So that process now of your self-exploitation changes as you go, right, well, I've got to take that not just from me sitting in my room composing, you know, the latest bangers and tunes. It's like I've got to now take myself and my materials online to other people and be like, hey man, like I have this, but like Tom said, it's more important not to just push your music and your merch. It's more important to push your personality. And that's what people resonate with. And then they're like, I like this guy, I'm gonna check this out. So I think, yeah, I hope that helps.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jakk. So yeah, all of these points concluded, if just say it if I'm wrong, you guys all aware of the self-exploitation that's happening during the crisis, because you just need to gain every resources as much as possible to push the creative work out there, to give the positivities to people, and just to get through this together, basically. So yeah, we are towards almost the end of the webinar. So further on this, what is the next for the music industry? I know it is very early to just say so, but I really need your views on this one. Which way is the most effective way to reach out to your customer or your audiences? What are the most challenging challenging factors? It seems like the coronavirus pandemic is not going to leave us anytime soon. So stay at home, be safe. That's the choices we have right now. The new ways of reaching out to the audience and customers are increasing more and more every day, but which one is the most effective one? Can we set on one way that most of the world are using one, or like during the lockdown, what is the most challenging in terms of reaching out to those people? Yeah. Okay, Alex, you go.
Yeah, I think there never is the one effective way. There's never that one thing that you can do, and it's gonna be working every time for everyone. I said, like, we are different. Like, you can't just think like, oh, if you're gonna do it step by step in this way, you're gonna succeed. Like, it's not working like that with creative arts, because what's making it unique from every single other profession we make is that you can't just say like that's gonna work. It will or not. It depends from your audience. It depends from what you want to actually represent with yourself. It depends from who you are as a person, unfortunately. But I think that it's actually a good thing sometimes, that if people know, like, people need to buy you. Like, we are a product right now. Unfortunately, that is very sad things to say. A lot of artists, and especially in the pop culture, we are named as a product. Most of the artists don't really have anything to say. They are a product. So we need to be aware that there's always a different way to, like, if one thing doesn't work, you just need to get up and think about something different. It's very hard this time. I, for example, started because I know that with everything, like, everyone is doing lives, everyone is doing some small research and everything. So I said, like, oh, what if I will start doing animation? Or what if I'm gonna start doing broadcast? What if I'm gonna go to people, I don't know, with an amplifier in the neighborhood, and they're just hoping that my neighbor's not gonna kill me? Yes, but that's the thing. There's never the one way. You need to just get up and think, and actually just sit down. Like Jakk said, we are in this situation when only if we actually plan this out, we can make it. And we need to think, like, I'm not the one person here. We need to think about the whole things. That's how happening. We can't think just about, we can't be so selfish anymore.
Thank you very much, Alex. Have any of you guys wanted to add something? What is next to our industry?
Yeah. Speaking from a live industry, obviously what I covered before was the community and how we can all help each other build. But I've been talking to a few people about the nature of our, especially like the live music industry, and how it's going to go. And I think it could go one of two ways, and it's adapting to either of that way, whichever way it's going to go. I think it's either going to really improve it, and people are going to be so bored, stuck at home, and they're just, all they're going to want to do when the venues are open is just go out and have fun and go and see some live music, and it's going to be great. In which case, wonderful, you know, we won't have to do as much to try and entice people to come back out and come to shows. But on the other side, because so many bands and artists are doing live streams and stuff like that at the minute, there could very much be a sense of, and you know, people being furloughed and not making as much money, and people kind of realizing where they can save their money. There could be a very big sense of, well, hang on a minute, I don't actually have to go out to see live music anymore. This pandemic's proven that we can actually have that. Although, yes, it's in a bit of a lower quality, and you don't kind of get the social interactions of being at a live music gig. There is still the case of, I can actually save money and I can go and watch this band play an acoustic set on their live stream, as opposed to paying 20-30 quid for a ticket to go and see them. So it could be very much a shift there. And I think the way we're kind of marketing live music may have to change slightly to try and entice more people to actually come into the venues, which could mean lowering ticket prices, lowering price of the beer. It could be anything. I'm hoping it goes the first way. That would be ideal. But the way it's going, and the way people are kind of seeing how they can absorb their music and how they can get that live interaction without having to spend all the money, I think it could very much go the other way.
Thank you very much. Alex, go to you.
Yes, as a comment on the Tom's reviews, like I wouldn't be so afraid about like how people will not go out and everything. We are a social species. We love this, and I genuinely think that if we have the people who still buy vinyls, cassettes, and everything, when we can have all music of the world for free, and like I do believe that there's gonna be a people who miss that atmosphere of economy because you can't get it by the screen. And you can't tell me it's true. Like I do understand that there's gonna be a struggle with money for everyone. But if there's gonna be a concert in the shed straight after the opening, trust me, I'm gonna be the first person on the door. So I know that there's a lot of people who will have the same thinking because we want to be connected. We want to be connected for something more than just the screens and speakers and everything. We just want to be there. We want to live this. And I think that's not gonna be a big issue. At least I actually hope for, because I know like it's gonna be a struggle for so many music venues.
Okay, thank you very much, George.
Yeah, just to tag on to Tom's point, it also, from a customer's perspective, it may go one of those two ways. From a musician's perspective, you might get musicians now saying, hang on, why am I driving 3 hours to a venue? You know, the old adage, £3 worth of kit into a £300 car to a £30 gig kind of thing. Well, I can just do a live stream at home. You know, we've got the audience there. You know, the quality is good if you get the right kit kind of in. You might see a lot of musicians that have this online presence and the infrastructure for online music now turning down opportunities to perform live music because the conditions and the pay for musicians and live music might not be seen as worthwhile, especially with, you know, rising petrol costs and things like that. Yeah, I forgot my second point, but yeah, that's my first point anyway.
That's all right. Thank you so much, George. Stephen, because I heard you doing the project about the music as well, do you have any thoughts on like what is the most challenging factors right now and how to engage with your customers?
Well, yeah, actually I haven't mentioned about my work. Actually, I work as an audio engineer. I work in a studio. For me, this is not really affecting my project because I actually do this every day at home at my studio. But as far as I know, my musicians peers and other colleges, they're very struggling in this current situation. Some of them, they're gathering money. I mean, they're doing crowdfunding by doing a live concert and platforms such as Instagram or YouTube. Well, I think the best way to deal with this is by improving more creativity, and it could be doing video and to achieve more subscriber, for instance, so they can still get money from it.
Okay, thank you very much. Anybody want to add in terms of this one? Okay, Jack. Hi.
Hi. So yeah, these are all great points that have been raised. I like the idea that there could be a resurgence of people. Because I was walking through the streets of Leicester just the other night, as everyone sort of stood in the doorway, clapping the pans and going like, yeah. I think that like Thursdays are going to be like the big day where we sort of go, yeah, remember like the time that we were all locked in the house and that was kind of our way to go out and vent steam? Let's go out and see a show. Let's go and do something. Even if like Friday and Saturday still remains as a big club night, I think going out and being around people and sort of having that big like, yeah, you can scream and shout. I think Thursdays would be a good night for that. I love the point that George raised about why would I now travel across the country to play a tiny gig at great expense to myself? I've always kind of been on the mindset of like, I shouldn't really need to be doing that. At that time, it was a bit snobby. Now it's considered common sense. So I'm like, cool, we're on the right train. I think that a lot more musicians will get tapped into sort of building, and instead of chasing like economic capital, like going for the coin, making the money, it's like now it's on about building your audiences online, connecting with people that are like, generally they're going to sit down and have the time to listen to you, hear you, get to know your personality, find out what your story is, and then you kind of capitalize on all that by going, well, now we're going to play a gig. We're in your town, you know us, come down and say hello. So I think it's going to ease kind of the need for promotion, and the kind of ease the role of promoters. I mean, I've seen one or two that have just dived into this. They've come back off tours around Europe and have just gone straight into live streaming and putting it in groups all across the country. Some of them are just like jumped in and they're doing what they can to support people and kind of raise that awareness. The consumer side of stuff is fantastic, because now you've got people that, never really went online. They kind of just listen to whatever the radio pumped out, or they'd listen to the same song over and over again. And like Alex says, that like, that's very repetitive. The stuff's all the same. So they're now going, I have time to sit at home, and I now have time to sort of go, well, what kind of music do I really like? And begin to build that self-identity. And because now more musicians are engaging with social media, it's more common that you'll get a message going, hey, I saw you like my track. What did you think of it? Let's talk a bit. So I think you'll see a rapid development of this online community, which I think when lockdown begins to sort of chip away, if businesses are set up right during it, and if promoters, venues, and musicians are all sort of primed and active in the right ways, I think you'll see a much bigger retention of people going, like once the initial fear of like, well, what if I go out and catch it? Like once that's sort of worn away, I think as we get like to the herd immunity stage, I think you'll see more people sort of starting to come out, at least for the initial bit, because they'll go, I've been cooped up indoors now for about 4 months. I just want to go out. I want to have a big night. I want to see loads of people having fun. I want to see someone on stage, having a laugh, playing some music I like, having a good time. And I think the industry is just going to it's going to be like the music industry 2.0, where, we've now got the ability to go, right, well, I can message this guy that's over in Estonia and set up an online jam, and then we're going to market it over to the US. I think as that all develops, people just have more options, and that information is there. It's all set up, but now everyone's sort of pushed online, and it's go and use it. So yeah, that's what we're trying to help at this stage.
Thank you very much, Jakk. That is a very beautiful way to put it. Is anybody want to add something? Yes, George, yeah?
Just as from a pharmaceutical student kind of perspective, I don't think we've really kind of seen the tip of the iceberg with this pandemic, and it's something to bear in mind. The music industry might be facing this same scenario on a 2-3 yearly basis. The second wave of the Spanish flu killed 10 million people, about over half the total number of deaths, and that was after the first wave had passed. If this is just the first wave of a pandemic, we might be seeing more lockdowns, more isolation, and we might be seeing even more instability than we currently are, because it might get to a stage where we don't know whether we can or can't go out, what the situation with threat levels are, risk management and things like that. So this music industry 2.0, as Jakk puts it, is going to have to be one of the most flexible things imaginable in terms of security for musicians and venues and everything, because this might, once herd immunity is reached, once there's vaccines, it might still not be the end for, this new way of life. So just to end on a depressing note, that we're going to have to be more kind of to manage to crack Jakk up for the first time today. Yeah, we're going to have to kind of be more supportive, more collaborative, and together more than ever, because we don't know what's coming in the future. We don't know whether it's going to be a one-time thing, and we don't know whether we're going to have to whether we're going to be the ones who are going to have to kind of reform the music industry as kind of we see fit to kind of take on our social and economic needs and things like that.
Thank you very much, George. Anybody want to add? Well, so then I'll push the next slides on, yeah? Okay. Back to the slides. We are now reaching to the end. Okay, so it's the Q&A sessions. I haven't seen any question on the Facebook Live, so if any of you guys have any question to anybody in this Zoom webinar, so you guys can fire away or ask me if you like. Okay. So if you, yeah, George? Oh no, okay. So, yeah, thank you very much for coming in, and keep in touch, please, you guys. Thank you very much. And Nico left because he had another live at noon, and I'm very sorry that I get over the time because now it's the 12:12. And yeah, basically, thank you very much for coming in to take part of the beautiful and wonderful webinar. And yeah, hope to speak to you all soon. I'm just gonna stop live on Facebook now, okay, so that we can have a chat. Hi.
Is there no space to do any plugs on the live stream, on the Facebook Live thing?
Sorry?
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah, sorry, now I finished the live streaming, so yeah, with all these
Okay,
thank
You're
you
still recording,
so
though.
much.
Thanks, guys.
That was really
Thank you, guys.
interesting.